So if we live in a perfect world, what business do we have to do to pray and change the divine will? Hashem is a perfect world. Shouldn't we trust that the karmic laws will take care of any injustice because it's a just and perfect world? So the way that the system works is Hashem has a Torah, and the Torah determines how guilty anything is and how meritorious anything is. So that's the regular order. The regular order is according to Torah. If a person went off the path, God forbid, what's he going to do now? He's already now falling out of the laws of justice, and now how is he going to get himself up? So Hashem gives us an opportunity to do tshuva, and the l'chaim, and the tshuva brings in a light that's higher than the Torah. The Torah says, if a person did this, they deserve this. What business do they have to change God's will? Because God gifted us with the power of prayer, which is going to stand higher than justice. Torah is justice. It's truth. It's measured perfection. And if someone did something, they have to be cleansed, let's say, purged of that. So there's mida keneged mida. It's a perfect system. But what do you do if a person's falling off of that? What free will do we have now to change our course and direction if we're already on a slope that's only going down? So a person turns back, and he's given the power to get out of that. And the way he does it is simply by why he turns, right? It's a sha'ah. You can acquire your world to come in a sha'ah, in one moment. V'sha'achas. What does that mean? Sha'ah means a turn. You turn back to Hashem. The return is a turning. You're turning towards Hashem. So Hashem fixes the whole system in your favor. Now, even the Torah, which is perfect, God's will and wisdom, right? So His will itself is transcended through the power of prayer, through tshuva, through turning to Hashem. So now Hashem says, I was the one that made these rules, and I'm going to make an exception for this person because I see in sincerity, I've heard his prayers, and therefore he has reached the place in me that's above my actual will. It's the Baal Haratzon. It's the one who has the will. He reached Hashem himself. The person connected to Hashem in a way that's above the system he made that says this constitutes a just life or a virtuous existence, a virtuous life. Then you get this and that. You get a measured amount of divine energy and blessings in your life. But you could crack through the system and say, okay, it doesn't matter that I might have fallen short in any area because I could connect to the one who's writing the code right now that runs the world. So by being authentic, by being driven towards the author of the world, if you recognize that there's a creator and it's not just a random atoms bouncing around, then you have the ability to change the story that the author is writing. And then Hashem says, okay, and a magical transform of energy comes into the person. He changes himself. Within 2 years, you couldn't recognize them anymore. They've actually transformed themselves. They represent a higher version of themselves. The 2.0 is almost unrecognizable from where we were in our darkest moments. Look at your memory even of what was I going through in my hardest, darkest times, and what about compared to my brightest and hopefully most recent times? You only want to make the next day more brighter than today, but today you want to be lit in the ultimate way. You want to have everyday complete transformation and victory every single day. Building on each other. So that is simply by sha'achas, is turning. You turn towards the true connection with Hashem. It's not anything to do with personal, like, any ambitions that don't make Hashem like part of the goal. There's room to get closer there too. There's no area left out. There's no part of our life that is not going to be overcome, rectified, and transformed. But there's going to be an order that it happens in. And It says that Mashiach, the first thing he's going to do is cure the blind. You have to see things straight to be able to really develop and move forward. It says when Hashem resurrects the dead, he's going to do it with all the illnesses that they had. They're going to get up with them in the same garments that they were buried in. They're going to get up in, and Hashem's going to mend and fix. So the reason that's given in the Medrash, same health, but the same way we walked in this world, we're going to walk in the world to come. Same way our health was, because if we get up completely healed, the nations of the world history won't say, well, this is the suffering nation that Hashem brought up. We'll say this is some other nation. You won't be able to see the connection. So Hashem lifts us up from the deadest moments in our life in a way that shows this is the same person, but you're going to see a gradual shift. But where he's going to go is completely unrecognizable from before, to the extent that if you didn't make it gradual, you won't even know it's the same person. So
they're going to heal. You're going to resurrect not healthy, but they're going to heal.
In other words, the transformation is not something that is just like assumed. It's something that it's morphed into. It's morphed into because it's personal to us. It's us going through each step of the way and not like recreated. It's like you think that
like
a rebirth is like
Like what?
Like the almonds. It happens.
right. It goes through nature.
Derech.
Right. So there's miracles that happen to transform nature. In fact, the greatest miracles that the Rebbe wanted to draw our attention to is when we see that the evil of our enemies are the ones that freed us. So in the whole story of the previous Lubavitch Rebbe who was freed on Gimel Tammuz and Yud Beis Gimel Tammuz, that Chaim.
The rest is going to tell us that.
I forgot what I was going to say. Chaim.
Guys.